Okay, so at this point we're all the way up until fractions that are positive and negative, and we are dealing with fractions that have unlike denominators. These two fractions have 8 and 6 as their denominators, and this is negative 3/8 minus negative 1/6. So a couple of things that I'm going to need to do to this problem. One of the things that I'm going to implement is the thing known as keep, change, switch. That's something that we can do when we're adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. Taking away negatives is the same thing as adding positives. So as I rewrite this, I'm going to write it on top of itself, one on top of the other, and I'm going to say negative 3/8 will be my keep, negative 3/8. My change will be from subtraction to addition, and my switch will make this number positive. So this is negative 3/8 plus 1/6. Now, the second thing I'm going to need to focus on doing is finding a common denominator. And so I'm going to rewrite these fractions with the common denominator. Now maybe you can figure out what the common denominator will be in your head, but what you'll be doing in your head is you'll be taking that 6 and that 8, and you'll be listing their multiples. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. And I'm going to list a few multiples for 8. That will be 8, 16, 24. And I'm actually going to stop here because at that point I've identified two common multiples. That is the smallest one that they both have in common. Our least common multiple is 24, and that will be our new denominator. And this is how we identify that new denominator. Now, our denominator has changed for both of our numbers, so our numerator must change for both of our numbers. The way that we identify our new numerator is by identifying what we multiplied our denominator by. In the bottom number here, we multiplied our 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4. Since we multiplied our 6 by 4, we must also multiply the 1 by 4. In our top one, we multiplied the 8 by 1, 2, 3. Since we multiplied the 8 by 3, we must also multiply the 3 by 3 and get 9 there. It's important to remember that as we rewrite these fractions to the right here with the common denominator, that if there's a negative along the way, we bring it along for the ride. I am adding these two together. Now that we have common denominators, I know that my answer's denominator will be 24. And so to find my numerator, really what I'm doing is negative 9 plus 4. In order to do negative 9 plus 4, I know that through my rules of adding integers, I've got a negative 9 and a positive 4. My signs are different. I subtract the two numbers. 9 minus 4 will be 5. And since my negative number has the greater absolute value, it will be negative 5. Negative 5/24 is my final answer.